calling you a radical, so I want to get a look at the only football stadium in the world named after a woman. And this all ties to nuclear. So this is important. This is an open letter to the NRC, and Chairman Chris Hansen was at DIABLO yesterday. He admits the first time he's ever been there. He talks about how beautiful it was, and he disclosed the NRC has met with the Shumash. Now, the Shumash become disengaged with Diablo Canyon for decades. They got re-engaged, after Fukushima. Now, you know I've been Diablo dozens and dozens and dozens of times fighting. So this is important. This is an open letter to him. Lessons from Fukushima unlearned. Now, why here at the football stadium? The merger of GE and Utah Construction. Those are the people that built the reactors around the world. We play slow. We play them on this field. And so, as I call the Fukushima Bowl, lessons from Fukushima unlearned. He talked about how beautiful it was. Now, remember, she was replaced by Biden immediately with Chris Hansen, head of the nuclear rallying cheerleaders, as I used to call them, Sin and Ofrey. So, remember, and I cannot overstate this to everybody because Utah is funding these SMRs, new scale, new scale, new scale, new scale, new scale, new scale, and I cannot overstate this. That needs to be retracted. The license and approval, which is the only one approved, was approved by her, who the Biden administration replaced with Chris Hansen, who worked with Jose Reyes at Idaho National Lab. Now, I'm headed to Idaho National Lab on Monday. I got to rent a car. I got to raise a little bit of money, but I'm headed up there. And another thing, when Idaho State plays Weber State here, I have video proof. Guess what buses bring them in here? You got it. The buses say floor right on them. Whose floor? Go to Idaho National Lab right at the gate. Giant signs, floor. Remember when they sent the big armored vehicle after me? In a legal place outside the thing. So I'll be up to see Blake, who's from here, who I'm really close friends with, who bought the bar at Atomic City. I get all the good info. So I'll find out what's going on the SMRs. But Chris Hansen to the NRC. The elephant in the room, and the only reason I haven't been Diablo is, I've been recovering from open heart surgery. And so that's why I wasn't there at the hearing recently, but I did speak at the hearing via email and text, which I always do, and they all know me. And so I want to say this to Chris. This is important, real important. Why are we ignoring the elephants in the room? Why are we ignoring the elephants in the room? And the elephant in the room is what? These are repositories. Lessons from Fukushima unlearned on an earthquake zone. Hello, we learned nothing from Fukushima. Now, I did all the due diligence when I was the marquee professor, the #1 school business in the country. I wrote paper after paper on these Mach 1, Mach 2, all these reactors. And my #1 most dangerous reactor in the world is Diablo Canyon. Who was number 2? Sin and Ofrey. Number 3, Fukushima Daiichi. Number 4, Fukushima Diani. Number 5, Oyster Creek. Number 6, Indian Point. I can go on and on and on, my top 10. So Diablo's always been my #1 most dangerous. That and Sin and Ofrey. We got Sin and Ofrey shut down, and in dry cast, which is a big deal. It's a major. So there's the thing, in dry cast. That's what we're ignoring. We're ignoring. Remember when I used to fight with Harry Reid and say, you can't just sign to the pen, turn every single nuclear reactor into a repository. It's supposed to be at Yucca Mountain. We're paying a fine to these guys. California's paying $4.4 million a day in California taxpayer to keep Diablo Canyon open to this day. So I want to say this to Chris. What about the waste? This is a nuclear repository. So they went back to Congress. Harry Reid took it back to Congress. And by the way, we know what he died and where he was born, Nevada Test Site. Satellite, Nevada. So, well, my father was nuked to death. Try to make a sequel out of me. I want to say this to Chris. Why are we not discussing the fact that these are nuclear waste repositories? And there's 40 years of nuclear waste stored there. 40 years of nuclear waste is stored there. My work has proven that these reactors cannot handle a 7.7, 7.6 on the spent fuel pool. They can't handle an 8 on the cores. Lessons from Fukushima unlearned. And he said, we'll give it to him. He says, we are going to close this reactor. It's just a matter of time. Whether we now or we extend it, we're closing it. Close it yesterday, like we were supposed to. We were gonna, so I'll be headed to Idaho National Lab on Monday. I gotta rent a car. So my car won't make it. No way, the car I borrowed. So this juggling act that we've pulled off for all these years. Lessons from Fukushima. Unlearned. Don't drop your dry cast container. Let it slip. Don't let it slip. It's a football game. So this nuclear, it's so dangerous. It's insanity. Something we don't use. California's producing 200% more solar a day than it used. It's being blocked in the grid from going across. I mean, we're not having this conversation in 1970. I don't want to live like a nuclear energy Chernobyl refugee. Damn your nuclear torpedoes. Don't want to live like a nuclear energy Fukushima refugee. Don't want to live like a San Luis Obispo, SLO, Pismo, Los Angeles, California, nuclear energy refugee. Lessons from Fukushima. Unlearned. What about the fact that it's a repository with 40 years of waste stored on site? By the way, when I did that video the other day, who's the greatest player that played in the stadium, I forgot about the big tight end for the Chargers, Albert Pupuna. Jamie Martin, oh yeah, great, but the top 5 are all guys that played on the same team. Rashid Shaheed, Josh Davis, Adam Rodriguez, Jonah Williams, TJ for the Bills. So, anyway. Unlearned, the juggling act. Don't drop your dry cast container. Open letter to the NRC and Chris Hansen. TikTok, Diablo Canyon clock. We learned nothing. The clock struck midnight on March 11th, 2011. We don't use it, we don't need it. Why extend it? Close it now. Stay tuned.